Welcome back Pokefans to a video on the 4th treasure of the Paldean King. The last 3 were pretty interesting and I definitely like the designs of them. Really excited for this one as well, so let's quickly go ahead and get into it. I believe that this shrine is actually quite close to the fighting crew base, so I have actually made my way over there. Now that we are here, I think we can start from the Pokemon Center. We do have 8 different stakes to pull out once more, and before we do that, as usual, I'll go ahead and make my way to the shrine itself. This shrine is actually quite hidden, and if you haven't really explored too much in your game, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have seen this one before. Personally, I did actually find it in my playthrough, but it's actually in a very tricky place. All you have to do is come to this waterfalls right here, which by the way is one of the 10 sites of Paldean itself, and you do have to kind of climb to the top. Once you do, you'll be able to see this cave right here, and you do have to swim in. In my case, I accidentally almost fell down, but there we go. As soon as you enter, there is another cavern right next to it, and this is where the shrine is present. Now, if you do want to directly fly to the shrine on a later stage, all you have to do is go ahead and interact with it once. This will let you fly back to it. If you do interact with it, it says, "Herein lie sealed the ruinous beads." Pretty cool. Now that we have interacted with it, we can actually go ahead and go out from here. Now, even though there are 8 stakes, in my case I've actually pulled out 4 of them. But as usual, I'll go ahead and show you guys the location for all 8 of them as well. Also, another thing, you don't really have to follow the same order in which I'm actually showing you guys the location. The order of which you'll actually pull it out doesn't really matter. All you have to do is pull out all 8 of them. Anyway, let me quickly go ahead and show you guys the location of the first stake, and we can go from there. The first stake location is gonna be right here. I'm gonna quickly go ahead and pin it down. You can also go ahead and pause my video to kind of go ahead and pin it in your own map as well. The nearest one for me to travel to that point was actually this watchtower right here. This is in North Province Area 1. I'm pretty sure you would have already explored this area, so it's pretty easy to come here. As usual, I'll go ahead and glide my way through to there. I'm pretty sure I won't reach the beach, but at least gliding is so much fun in this game, so I do enjoy doing this. Alright, not bad. We have come pretty far, but of course we do have to go ahead and go a bit further. As far as the location where the stake is, I think I've already explored this place, so probably I would have already pulled it out. But I'll go ahead and show you guys the exact location of where it is, so that it's much easier for you guys to find it as well. Alright, almost there. Seems like we do have a Terra Pokemon right here, and I was just gonna check it out. It's actually a Vugtrio, which I think I don't really need to catch, so I'm gonna ignore it. Coming on to the beach right here, you do have to just jump on this cliff, and I believe it won't be right next to this tree. I think it's next to the rock, so you'll be able to find it as soon as you come here. So this is the first location of the stake itself. Well, I did check my video, and this is exactly where it is, right next to the stone. And here we go, this is in the map itself. Alright, other than that, let me quickly go ahead and show you guys the location of the second one, and I think we can actually go ahead and make our way over there as well. Alright, here we go. The second one is gonna be much closer to the river. After zooming out my map, I found out that the Pokemon Center in North Province Area 1 is actually quite close to where it is, so I made my way to it. Here we are, and I think this is one of them that I actually missed, so I'm quite excited to go ahead and find it as well. Now that I do have its location pinned down in the map, as usual, it's so much easier to kind of find it. Let me go ahead and try to navigate my way through this. I mean, this is one area in the game where I find it much trickier to kind of travel, especially since we do have so many mountains to climb right here. But it seems like we are almost there, and I think it's way down there right next to the tree itself. This is quite close to where we did fight the poison crew, and you can actually go from there as well, but here it is. So this is the second stake location. Pretty cool. I'll go ahead and quickly pull this one out as well. And since this is done, I think this is the fifth one for me, since I have already pulled out 4 of them. Personally, this event of finding out different stakes actually reminded me a lot of finding Wisps back in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I mean, we had to find around 108 over there, and that was definitely way challenging than this one. But of course, I think this one is much easier than that, and so much easier to find the stakes as well. Anyway, let me go ahead and pin down our next location for the stake. Now this one is much closer to the North Province Area 1 Pokemon Center, and I think I have missed this one as well, so I do have to check this out right here. Alright, going back to the Pokemon Center, all I have to do is run in this direction, or of course ride my Corridon in this direction. And as far as the map goes, it's actually on top of this mountain right here. So let me quickly go ahead and climb it. I guess this is the only place I didn't explore when I did explore this area, and here it is right on the top. Pretty cool. We also have another Gimmighoul. I've already gone ahead and evolved my Gimmighoul, but I'm actually deciding to try and evolve the second one, so I have been collecting a lot of Gimmighoul coins. But of course, here is the location for the third one. Anyway, let me go ahead and pin down the location for the fourth stake, and we can go from there. Now, this one is gonna be much closer to the fighting crew base. Actually, it's gonna be right next to the Pokemon Center, as you might have seen right here. So let me make my way to the Pokemon Center, and I think all we have to do is look around and climb the mountain. So let me quickly do that. Alright. I guess some of these are quite easy to miss, especially since they are at these smaller areas. And if you don't pan your camera around, maybe you will miss it sometimes. But here it is, right on top of this hill. Sadly, on top of this small hill, there was a Halucha, and it actually decided to just fight me pretty bad. I really get annoyed when encounters just happen like this. I mean, it's so tricky to actually avoid them. But of course, I was easily able to run away from this one, and I decided to go away from another side of the tree to avoid it once more. But here we go. This is the fourth location. Pretty cool. Personally, I think I have almost pulled out all of them. Maybe one is still remaining for me, and I'm actually interested to see where I actually missed it. But of course, the next one is quite close to the shrine itself, so I'm quickly gonna go ahead and fly there. By the way, this is the fifth one. The one thing I didn't realize is that if you do use fly, apparently you spawn inside the cave, which I didn't think would actually happen. I thought we would probably spawn outside around here, but of course not. But of course, the fifth one is actually quite close to this. In this case, I think it will be right on top of this cave. So let me quickly climb on top of this without falling down multiple times. And okay, there we go. Now that we are here, all we have to do is climb this. Of course, it's a bit tricky, but once you climb it, this is exactly where it's gonna be. Here is the location for the fifth one. Pretty cool. Quite close to where you are supposed to be. Maybe you can come here when you have actually collected the rest of them, which will make it much easier to just collect this and then go down here into the cave for the shrine itself. But other than that, let me quickly find the location of the sixth one. Alright, I think it's right here. So now that I've pinned it, I think it's much easier for me to just go ahead and glide down once more. But of course I do have to be in the right position or the right direction, or else I might miss it. I think this one is right next to the ruin that you might find at the edge of this area. So I'm gonna just go ahead and glide to there. As usual, I have so much fun gliding in this game. Let me know in the comment section which power of Koraidon that you really like the most. I'm pretty sure some of you might like the climbing feature as well, but in my case it's gliding. I really wish it could actually fly instead of gliding. That would actually be much cooler, but of course they have just given us the gliding, so pretty fine with this. Alright, here we are. And the next one is actually gonna be right here. Since I have explored this before, I've already pulled it out, but you'll be able to find the next one right here. But of course, when I was exploring, I was in a hurry, so I did not pick up any of these items. So I definitely did miss quite a few. But now that we have, completed a lot of things in the storyline, I think it's pretty fine. Alright, now that we have got 6 of them, I think 2 more left. The next one is pretty far. It's quite close to, by the way, the Glacido mountain. So let me quickly go ahead and pin the location. Also, I think I've already pulled this one out as well. It's actually right here in the corner. You can either travel through the Daizapa passage, which by the way is a bit trickier to actually go there. I think I would actually recommend going just to Glacido Gem and gliding down. It's also much easier to identify where the stake is if you are at a higher elevation rather than running from the ground. As usual, I prefer this, but if you have gone through the passage itself, let me know how easy it was finding out that item. Personally, I think I've already collected it before, so I'm not too worried about it, but you do have to kind of come here and glide down here. Of course, this is a part of the mountain I haven't really explored too much. I think there was this one episode where I was just running around and accidentally found the stake, so I went ahead and pulled it out. Alright, seems like we do have another one of the ruins, which I totally missed. And there is a spirit tomb right here, which is pretty cool. I think there is only one other location where I have found a spirit tomb, and that I think was much closer to the Drowned Light Shrine. So if you haven't caught one, I think you'll find one right here as well. Anyway, now that I'm here, let me go ahead and slowly jump down so that I don't miss the location itself. But you might see that there is a green patch right here with 2 trees. This is where you'll be able to find the stake. It was quite in between the 2 trees, so I have actually gone ahead and pulled it out. But this is the location for the 7th one. We literally have one more left and I'm so excited about it. Let me quickly go ahead and show you guys where the last location is, and we can definitely go from there. I'm actually very surprised. The last location is actually right next to the Lavencia City Lighthouse. This personally is so far away from the shrine, and I'm really not sure why they kept it so far away. But I think it's on top of this mountain right here. Mountain or cliff, whichever you want to say. So let me quickly try and climb this one. Apparently, even though I did, explore this area quite a bit, literally like 2 days, I did not climb up this mountain, and that is the reason why I didn't find this one. But here it is, the last stake out of all of them. Literally, since this is the last legendary Pokemon I'm actually catching. Now that I've pulled it out, I think we'll be able to hear a mysterious cry coming from the shrine itself. Pretty cool. Let me go back to the shrine, heal up my team members, save my game, and get ready for the legendary Pokemon battle. Now, to be really honest, when I was actually challenging it, I did not know its typing, and you'll get to know why. Let me go ahead and interact with the shrine. As usual, when you touch it, I think the shrine door itself crumbles. Yep, here we go. And we are gonna see the last legendary Pokemon. Here it is. Pretty nice. I think this is one of the favorite design for me. Definitely really cool. It does look like a goldfish though. Anyway, I did start with my Amarus as usual. And I did want to try my quick ball just to see if I do have the luck to catch it. Here it is. And do we catch it? No, we do not. Okay. That's fine. I'll go ahead and try using my usual tactic. In this case, it's actually going ahead and using Will-O-Wisp. It was not useful in the first turn since my opponent did use Bounce. And of course it does avoid it. But I was not too worried about this. Unfortunately, I did get paralyzed right here, which is pretty bad. But at least I did have the Rocky Helmet, which did some damage on it. Right here I did get hit with a Swagger. But when I did try using Will-O-Wisp, I did not realize that this Pokemon is not affected by that move. Yep, Chiyu is not affected by that move. At this point, I did realize that I had to switch out my team member. And the only one else who had a way of using a status was actually Cloudzyre with Toxic. Toxic is quite dangerous. Do not use it if you're trying to catch a legendary Pokemon. It does kind of increase the amount of health that the opponent will lose each turn. I was definitely a bit concerned right here, but I think that was the only way for me. So I did have to kind of switch out. As usual, the background music is, by the way, kind of the same as the other ones, which I think I really like, by the way, and I'll let you guys listen to it for a bit right here. Now right here, even though I did use Toxic, I was a bit worried. If you can't really catch it before it goes down, you do have to kind of reset your game, and I didn't really want to do that. I also decided to use Dusk Ball since we were kind of inside a cave. I thought maybe this will have a higher chance of catching it. And I was right. I was able to catch it, and there we go. We have the fourth and the last treasure of the Paldean King. Pretty cool. Here is Chiyu. Here is its description. It controls flames burning at over 5400 degrees Fahrenheit. It casually swims through the sea of lava it creates by melting rock and sand. That is definitely savage. Other than that, it does have the ability called Beads of Ruin. The power of Pokemon's ruinous beads lower the special defense stats of all other Pokemon except itself. Pretty nice. Really like these Pokemons. And now that we have caught all 4 of them, the only thing left for us to do in the quest is go back and talk to our history teacher. She probably is waiting for us to report back to her on all of these 4 treasures that we did promise her. If you haven't really checked out the storyline for these 4 legendary Pokemons, go ahead and check out my first video on these 4 treasures. I do have uploaded the complete story of all of these treasures and how they came to be. and why they are Pokemons right now. It's also quite easier for us to just fly back to Narajan Academy, especially since we do have an option to do so. And now that we are here, I'm actually excited to see what actually happens next. We did actually promise her that we'll find all of these treasures for her in her place, so let's see what our teacher has to say. I guess if you are not at the center of the door, sometimes you don't actually enter it, which you might have seen me do just now. That was actually very weird. But once you have entered, she's actually gonna be right here in the left side. Let's go ahead and talk to her, see what she has to say. Dash, did you find any of the treasure of ruins? Yes, we did. Oh, you caught Tinglu, the vessel of ruin. Oh, how interesting. I simply cannot keep my curiosity under control. Judging by its shape and size, this vessel was almost certainly not for everyday use. Perhaps it was a work of art, or better yet, a ritual artifact housing some sort of deity. I feel that there must be some meaning behind the horns and the design resembling eyes. Definitely true. Could it be that this artifact was fashioned after the deity's very appearance? This mystery grows even deeper. My thirst for knowledge is slowly being quenched. Some of these dialogues she's gonna be repeating, so I'm not gonna repeat it myself. But since we do have the second one, she's gonna identify it right here, which is Chainpo in this case, the Sword of Ruin. Here is the repetitive dialogue, but let's see what she has to say other than this. So the sword's blade and hilt form the Pokemon's left and right fangs. I wonder if the sword broke when it became a Pokemon, or perhaps it was always that way. No, wait, I cannot imagine the king wanting to buy a broken sword. Maybe it was some sort of weapon that was meant to be used in this broken state. This mystery goes even deeper. I think some of the things that she's actually addressing is pretty interesting on its own, especially the broken sword right here. Here is the next one, Wu-Chain, the Tablet of Ruins. Let's see what she has to say on this one. I'm actually interested on her questions as well, which is pretty cool. I've never seen so many wooden written tablets strung together. It must have been an epic tale. Most excavated tablets are tantamount to graffiti or simple memos, still valuable tools for learning about the past, but nothing like this. I can't read it, but given the length, it must be a story, yes? Or perhaps the word of a curse. If only the words weren't faded. How frustrating. These wooden tablets piqued the curiosity of a king. What might have been written on them? Definitely deep questions, by the way. I'm actually interested myself, but unfortunately you can't actually read those tablets. Anyway, we do have Tiyu, the Beads of Ruins, which we did just catch. I'm interested to see what she'll say on it. Beads like these were thought to be sacred and thus were worn during religious rituals. I believe these were most often worn as a single bead on the neck like a pendant, but it seems Tiyu has 4 of them. Ooh, okay. Were the beads worn in pairs, like on the ears and wrists, or were the rituals perhaps performed by 4 people? What on earth could have caused these beads, such as these, originally used to ward off disaster, to become bringers of disasters themselves? Definitely an interesting topic right there. But once again, we don't really get too much about it. Seeing part of history with my own eyes fills me with joy. This is simply amazing. You have now reported back to me with all 4 of the treasures of ruin. I never thought that you would be able to do this much for me. Okay. You have my thanks, Dash. I would have liked to go looking for the treasure of ruin myself and make them my own. But I suppose it was precisely because I sent you, someone with a pure heart, that we were able to accomplish this feat. They may be treasures of my dream, but I will allow you to have them for now. Consider this a symbol of my gratitude too. Take it, it is yours. And we receive nasty plot, which is pretty weird to get from her. You're truly an interesting one, aren't you, Dash? I hope you don't mind if I continue to keep an eye on you. And that is all on her quest. So now that we have completed this, I think it was pretty fun. And I definitely enjoyed finding all of these stakes and showing you guys the location as well. Hope it was helpful. If you did like my video, please go ahead, like and subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in watching the Scarlet playthrough and how it actually ends, I've actually uploaded those videos as well, so go ahead and check it out. If you'd like to support me more, go ahead and check out my links in my description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.